Here's a wild story for you. A defensive end struggles through an entire season, then makes the play that wins Indiana its first ever national championship, and then, just days later, tells the world his quarterback is a future Hall of Famer. That's exactly what happened with Mikail Kamara. After blocking a punt that basically sealed the title, he sat down with TMZ Sports and made a bold claim about Fernando Mendoza. The guy's Canton-Bound, as in Pro Football Hall of Fame Canton, and he's only going to get better. Now, Mendoza's already projected to go #1 overall in the 2026 draft, but hearing it from Kamara, that hits different. Let's back up and talk about Kamara's journey because this dude earned the right to have an opinion. Mikail Kamara is a 6'1", 265-pound defensive end from Ashburn, Virginia. He started at James Madison, where he was putting up serious numbers in 2023, 17.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks. When coach Curt Cignetti left for Indiana, Kamara followed him, and honestly, his first year at Indiana was incredible. 10 sacks, 15 tackles for loss, first team All-Big Ten, third team AP All-American, which, by the way, made him the first AP All-American for Indiana in a decade. Everything was pointing toward him declaring for the draft and getting paid. Everyone expected it. Then Christmas Day 2024 rolls around and Kamara drops a bomb. He's coming back for another year. He told reporters he got a taste of almost making the championship after they lost to Notre Dame in the playoffs, and he wanted to finish the job. Coach Cignetti joked that Kamara was not a cheap date when he got the text, but Kamara had unfinished business. Here's the thing though, 2025 was rough for him. After dominating the year before, Kamara managed just 1 sack the entire regular season. 1. He was dealing with shoulder issues, nerve stingers, lower body injuries. The coaches moved him around to this hybrid position called stud, where he's playing defensive end and linebacker. And look, Pro Football Focus had him leading the Big Ten with 58 total pressures, so he was getting there, but the stats, they just weren't showing up. Kamara talked about it in December. He said, quote, "It's been a great year, one of those years where things haven't gone exactly according to plan, but it's one of those years that I'll be able to look back on and say this is the year that gave me strength going into the rest of my career." His teammate Stephen Daly saw it too. He said, "I knew he was due for something. It's been a rough season for him, but I knew on the biggest stage, in the biggest moment, he was going to make one of the biggest plays." And man, was Daly right. Third quarter of the national championship against Miami, January 19th. Indiana's up 10-7, but Miami's got momentum. They line up to punt on 4th and 1 deep in their own territory. Here's the crazy part. Kamara wasn't even supposed to block it. Coach Cignetti said after the game, quote, "This was actually a return and Mikail blocked the punt. We didn't have a punt block called." But Kamara felt like he'd gotten close on an earlier punt, so he just went for it. He used his right hand, swatted the ball, and it bounced right into the end zone. Isaiah Jones falls on it. Touchdown. Indiana goes up 17-7. Game over. They went on to finish 16-0, undefeated national champions. And Kamara, he's named defensive MVP of the championship game. After struggling all year, dealing with injuries, barely showing up in the stat sheet, he made the play that won it all. So 3 days later, TMZ catches up with him, and all he wants to talk about is his quarterback. Fernando Mendoza led the nation with 41 touchdown passes, won the Heisman Trophy, completed 73% of his throws. The kid's special, but listen to what Kamara says. No matter what teams end up drafting him, they're going to get a future Hall of Famer. He keeps going. Someone like him, he's always going to continue to get better. I think that's something that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to drafting certain players. Certain guys can make it to the NFL that's just good enough, but I just know he loves the game. We haven't seen the best of Fernando Mendoza yet. Think about that. We haven't seen the best of him yet. And this is a guy who just won the Heisman and is projected #1 overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. But Kamara's not just talking about the draft. He's talking about Canton, the Hall of Fame. That's reserved for the absolute elite, the best to ever do it. You know what makes this so powerful, though? It's not coming from a coach trying to hype his player. It's not an agent selling his client. It's coming from a teammate, a guy who struggled, who came back when he could have left, who finally made the play that mattered most. When someone like that tells you what he sees in the guy across the locker room, you listen. Kamara called Coach Cignetti almost like the mayor of Bloomington. Right now, both Kamara and Mendoza are legends on that campus. One blocked a punt that sealed immortality. The other's about to go #1 in the draft. And if Kamara's right, we're watching the start of a Hall of Fame career. Time will tell if Mendoza really is Canton-bound, but after everything Mikail Kamara went through to help get him there, honestly, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who knows better what it takes to be great when it matters most.